These are the tribes of my homeland. On this slide, we all um, we all are together as one, and we make our home in the 7 South area. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, next slide, please. So, Haigune Nation is located here. My tribe is called the Apatosipakani, or Pagani for short. And our Pagani descendants are of the Aka Pagani, and they are members. We are members. Next slide, please. So, my family. I am the daughter of my parents, Walter and Bernadette Smith. I also have 5 brothers and sisters, 2 brothers, 3 sisters. 2 of my sisters have passed away. I have 1 son, his name is Jay. My husband, Eloise LaRocque, he was from the Mi'kmaq Métis. And we have been married for 20 years before he passed away. He had lung cancer. I am the mother of 1 son and the grandmother of 7 grandchildren. Next slide, please. So a little bit about who I am. I am a survivor of domestic violence and also the 60s scoop. Next slide, please. Do you all know what the 60s scoop is? Have you heard of that? The 60s scoop, I will explain a little bit here on this next slide, please. The 60s scoop happened back in the 1960s, in that era. And that was where Indigenous children were scooped away from their family and their homelands and their communities. They were taken. They were taken by CWS, that was Child Welfare Services, abbreviated CWS. They took all the children without any consent or permission from the parents. And there was a man, and his name was Patrick Johnson. And he had a 1983 report to the government in support of the Indigenous children throughout the 60s. He was in support. And there is a link there that gives a lot of information on that, and those links on the right side are provided, and you can take a look at that at your leisure. Next slide, please. So I was lost in my early years. I lived in various homes. I moved around a lot, but they were not my home. I attended 3 different schools. And in 1972 to 1978, I lived in Lethbridge in Alberta, Canada. I attended a Catholic school there with my sister Barb. We were there for 2 months in the summer. We were also baptized in that church. My foster parents they changed, they erased my culture, my language, and my history as a Pilkani woman. Next slide. So my story, one time I ran away from school. I waited for the school bus to take off and I ran. I was completely lost. It was dark. I didn't know where I was going, but I kept walking. There was a train track and I followed the train track. And a policeman saw me and he grabbed me and he scared me and I screamed. And he walked along with me and took me back to my foster family. And I was grounded for a month. I couldn't stand it. I wanted to escape from the pain and the trauma that I had experienced. Next slide, please. So I transferred to the Alberta School for the Deaf, and that was in Edmonton, Alberta, in Canada. And that was from June 1979 till 1983. I was 11 years old. I was completely overwhelmed. Everyone was signing there, and I only knew the very basics of sign language at that time. I was very scared.
Used to my native signing.
So from between 50s to 60s, there were a lot of Native students there. And during that time at ASD, I experienced trauma. So my mother came to the school, to ASD. She woke me up. I didn't know what was going on. She says, "Get your things together now." She grabbed a garbage bag and we put all of my things into the garbage bag and we left and we went home. And she had told me, "You're never going back to ASD again." And I never did. I never went back. And at that time, I was 14 and a half years old, and we left. So I transferred to a Piegan school. For 4 months. I was there, not very long. And that's where I learned Native crafts, sewing, how to make various things. Next slide, please. So for my education, I transferred to Queen Elizabeth High School. That was a mainstream high school. They had deaf and hearing students both there. I liked that school. Unfortunately, though, I did not graduate because I was over the age limit. It was 15 to 19, and you had to be 18 to graduate. I was 19, so I was not able to do so. I was supposed to get a Red River Community, they had Red River Community College. They sent me a letter that I was approved to go to veterinary assistant school to get a certificate. And I planned to go, but my mother said no. She didn't want me living so far away from Alberta. The school was in Manitoba on the complete opposite side, and she didn't want me to go. My mother was very overprotective of me. She wanted me to stay in Alberta. So I decided to go instead to Edmonton, and I went to Alberta College. For 3 years, I was there. Next slide, please. So my post-college years, I received my workplace computer certification from Alberta Vocational College. It's Bow Valley College. And I got married my husband, had my son, And we moved to a small town, Forestburg, very small town. And we lived there for 16 years until my husband passed away. And then I moved back into the deaf world again. I went to another college called Robertson College. It's a technician accounting course that I took there. And I'm currently working here at the ILRCC. That stands for Independent Living Resource Center in Calgary, the ILRCC. I've been there for 4 years as a volunteer, and now I'm working part-time at a paid employment there. Next slide, please. So what am I doing now? Now I am relearning my Pagani Blackfoot culture, our history, and our Plains Indian Sign Language. I'm also a dart player. At one time, I was the vice president and a board member for the darts group. I'm no longer in that role, but now from time to time, I do play hand game, and that is an Indigenous game that's played often. It's a game I grew up playing with my friends and family. I'm also a member of the North American Indigenous Sign Language research team. And I'm also a community member of the Alberta Deaf community. I'm a member of the Turtle Island Hand Talk, and that's an international organization that serves the deafblind, the hard of hearing, and the hearing Indigenous people. Next slide, please. So I'd like to acknowledge my Indigenous deaf sisters who helped me with my presentation today, and they helped me with my PowerPoint. I'd like to recognize Dr. Melanie McKay Cody and also Heather Zimmerman. Both of them helped me to create this PowerPoint. I want to thank them both so much. Next slide, please. This is a native sign for thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions that you all might have.
Hello again. So if you have any questions, please use the chat box, or if you would like to, you can raise your hand and we will spotlight you so that you can talk, or you can sign if you want to, and the interpreter will voice or sign for you. So feel free to go ahead and ask any questions of Marie at this time. Ask her about her experience or anything you'd like.
Yes, I'm open to any questions. Don't be shy. Come on. I won't bite. I won't bite.
Come on, let's go. Anybody have any questions? Anything? All right, great. Got some coming in chat. All right, let's see here. So how do you feel?
This is the sign for thank you.
So one question is, how do you feel about the foster care system?
Oh, I see. I see in the chat, it's asked to show the sign for thank you. This is our sign for thank you. Sometimes it's signed this way as good or thank you. It depends on the language and the communication that's taking place. But this is thank you or good. Sometimes you can tell by the shape of the mouth if it's thank you or good.
So we have a second question someone has asked. How do you feel about the foster care system?
Oh, Eduardo, I see. Estrella. Okay, your question is, how do you feel about the foster care system? Well, that's a very good question. Remember back in those days, this was quite a while ago that I was in foster care. I don't want to talk negatively about the system. Um, um, just back at that time, it was not good. In today's world, it's might be better. Um, I believe they're more strict and they pay attention to the children and their needs and what their desires are. I think there's more focus on the children and their needs and to make sure that they receive love. But back when I was in the foster care, there was no love in the foster care system. It was abusive. It was not good. I was just trying to survive at that time.
We have a third question. Go ahead.
How different is Native Sign Language compared to ASL, American Sign Language? Well, PISL and ASL are different. PISL, there's no finger spelling. It's more gesturing. As for numbers, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you go to the second hand, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. With ASL, you do the numbers on one hand. You count to 10 on one hand. This is a sign for thank you in PISL. This is a sign for thank you in ASL. This is good morning in both languages. This sign is you sit down. That means you go, leave. So they're different. And yes, I definitely will teach my grandchildren. They're now old enough to understand sign language. And yes, I will absolutely be teaching them, of course. Yes. PISL, that is from way back. It was mostly gesturing, and then that language was stolen. It was removed. The culture was removed. Our history, everything was taken away, and so it became English. English was forced on us growing up. So now I'm just starting to pick up PISL back and to retain, to learn and get that knowledge so that I can then spread it again. PISL, the culture, the history, I want it back. All of that, I want it back. Our dancing, everything, I want that back.
Melanie is saying, how many signs, how many PISL signs do you know?
I would say around there's 50 to 100 words, less than 50 to 100 words. Some I learned when I was small, but I've forgotten since. Some are gestures that I have learned. I'm picking them up here and there. Mm-hmm.
So, and someone's asking for your name sign?
In PISL, the Blackfoot, yes, they do have gestures. There's Blackfoot, there's 7 tribes, and they do all have their own. They have elders. You'll see elders, uncles. Yeah, there's different signs.
And they're asking, are there many native sign users?
Yes, yes, I have noticed many elders signing. For example, they'll sign this to me. And I wonder, what is that sign? And they'll say half, we'll go in half. We're playing the game. They'll sign it this way, or they'll gesture, go drink, and they'll make these signs and gestures to me, and I'll understand, and I'll go get them what they need. Or they'll gesture this way, and I'll say, where do you want me to go? And they'll say, go, go, and they'll make this sign. Well, this sign is they'll tell me to go. So I go home. That's what they're saying. So it's gestural, a lot more gestural, but I'm picking it up. But I know less than 100 words. I'd say it's a lot to remember.
And there's a question again, how many signers are there like you? Oh,
My favorite sister is Barb. Yeah, Barb is here.
and are you teaching sign language to your grandchildren?
Goals for the future. Um, well, I really want a PISL book that can be distributed to the children. So, once myself and the elders are gone, I want PISL to be perpetuated. I don't want it to be lost when we pass away. I want it to continue. I want it to be around for many generations. That's what I want. That's my goal, is for the children. It's not for me. It's for the children and their future, and for them to maintain that language.
So the next question is, what advice do you have for someone who's learning native signs? Or what advice would you give to them?
Just, I would say, take in as much as you can. I immersed myself, from that, or excuse me, I was lost so long ago, and now I realize when I'm picking this up and I'm relearning this now, because this was lost to me as a child. I'm so it makes me feel good for the children and for the future.
So the advice for those people who are trying to learn native sign language, what advice would you give to them?
Yes, my advice for those people would be um, to sign with me, gesture with me, use it within your own families. If I come, talk with me, even though I'm deaf. Talk with me, engage with me in PISL instead of ASL. Now, when I'm home, that's different. There's a lot of deaf people there, but when I go see my family, I want PSL. It's more fun, and it helps me remember, as I'm relearning in this process.
A lot of these questions have already been answered. So you mentioned this hand talk or the game that you were talking about when you were little. So I want to know about your tribe. Are there any games that you played?
String games? I don't know of any. No, no strings, just hand games with sticks. Um, there's five. So one in the middle makes 11. So you have four, and then you hide your hands like this, and you might have all of them in one hand and none in the other hand. So whatever you keep, the person guesses, and whatever you get to keep, you win. So yeah, I'll show you someday, but it's played with sticks.
So are you the only deaf child in your family, or do you have siblings who are also deaf?
No, my older sister was hard of hearing. Her name was Cheryl. Um, and myself, I am completely deaf. And so just the two of us. Now I have other nephews who are hard of hearing as well. They grew up fully oral, so they speak verbally. But just the three of us, my nephew Cheryl and myself.
And then I think the last question is, I'm sorry about your experiences that you had as a child. It must have been traumatizing. I wanted to ask you, when your mother picked you up from school at 14, how did you get in contact with her? Was it with your birth mother?
Okay, so when this happened at the deaf school, somehow word got around, I don't know if it was a teacher or the principal, they contacted my parents. And that's how my parents learned out about what happened. They were furious. They were very angry. And they came to the school, grabbed all of my things, packed everything up, and they said, "We are out of here and we are never coming back." In my mind, I was thinking, yes, I didn't want to go back to ASD. I didn't. I had a very bad experience there. And so that's why I refused to go back. And yeah, but I'm doing fine now.
And we have one more question. How do you stay connected to your cultural roots and traditions today?
Well, I've learned a lot from Melanie, her influence. Also, I have other friends. Um, I'm not sure if I'm spelling this word correctly, but
Ojibwe.
yeah. So yes, I have other friends who've influenced me and they've encouraged me. And um, so I do try to stay connected. Um, in the beginning with PISL, that's where I started because I needed that. And Melanie's been working on that with me ever since.
Okay, looks like we have another question. I know it's always a hard question, but is there any part of your story you would change if you could? I usually say no myself because my experiences make me who I am. But are there things sometimes I wish, but there are things sometimes I wish were different.
Yeah, I do wish some things were different. I wish some things had never happened. Yes, absolutely. It's really, but again, those were the old days. That was back in the 60s and 70s in that time period. And it was, yeah, I do. I wish it could have been reversed and could have been like it is now back then. But that was the system that was set up at that time.
How would you suggest hearing people learn more about your culture and the community today?
A good question. Well, it depends. I think a lot of people in the community, just get out in the community, um, family, friends, relatives. Um, I ask a lot of questions. They give me advice. They give me tips, etc. I mean, I haven't met anyone like a chief or an elder or anything like that. I primarily go around within the community.
And the next question is, what advice would you give to young sign language learners who want to spread awareness about the community?
Uh, make them aware that PISL is so critical to them. It is so important. I know it was lost, but we can relearn it. We already have a Blackfoot language, spoken language. We have that, but the gestures and the PISL, we need a lot more of that. We need that to be taught. We need a lot more awareness about PISL. It's very, very important.
I understand that. My own trauma led me to pursuing a degree in psychology. I want to help people the way that I was helped. And then the next comment, oh, your uncles are part of the cultural hold sweat lodges and paint faces for protection. That was a comment from your sister, Barbara.
Yes. Well, um, my tribe has definitely helped others. That with it, my trauma has helped me help others definitely. Um, I've set new goals, but I can teach others from what I've learned from my trauma. Um, it's important, not to be traumatized for life. Yes, it affects you, but if it can help you in a way that you can help others, in a philosophical way, or in ways to give them advice to help me. For myself, what trauma brought out in me was a fight. I wanted to fix myself from the inside and fight. Um, and we would do that with the Sundance group. Also, we would have the prayers, um, going into, I don't know the word of that, but where we would go in prayer for several hours. Um, so there were a lot of different things. A lot of different things are possible to heal yourself. But yes, I absolutely believe that trauma, you should use that to help
Barbara
others.
just added that your Uncle Jim and Uncle Morris were part of that.
Yes, that is correct. That is true. Yeah, my sister Barb here says that my uncles were part of that cultural hold in the sweat lodges. That's the sweat lodges that we would pray in. And yes, they would face paint our faces and arms for protection, and it's to give a new name. Yes. Yep. Uncle Jim and Uncle Morris. They were very strong men, both of them.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
My name is Latrina. Thank you so much
Hi.
for sharing your story. Wow, just for opening yourself up and sharing this experience, and being honest. To be honest with people, sharing that part of history is difficult, and you are doing that, and you're being honest with it and genuine. So thank you so much. It's a beautiful story.
You
And
are
learning a
welcome.
lot about PISL. So I want to learn more. I've been working on it. Also, I do have one question. So I have been searching, diligently searching. So if there's arts and crafts that you've made, are you a painter? Have you made anything that you can share?
Do you mean mine?
Yes, like your
Uh,
art that you.
well, yes. As far as Pagani, yes, I do have a few pieces of art, things I've made, native crafts, sewing, jewelry, clothing. Um,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
I do have some of those here in Calgary. Yes. Yeah.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they're here. Yeah.
I,
Well,
I
you are welcome anytime. I'm
yeah,
sure, I'd be happy to help teach you some PISL.
thank you. I'll be in touch with you. I do like a lot
Great.
of art. I love the artwork.
And there's ribbon dresses. Yeah. For the women. The men have shirts and the women wear dresses and
Oh,
skirts. Yes, we make our own. Hmm.
oh wow. So can you make something in purple for me?
Oh yeah, I could do that.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I will be in touch with you. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
I love to collect art from deaf artists, and I've collected so many pieces from everything. So I'd love something from you. It's been great to meet you as well.
Yes, absolutely. Great to meet you too.
And then we have another question. There was a comment about, oh, and there's another comment, Uncle Leonard. That's another one that your sister mentioned was Uncle Leonard.
Yes, and Uncle Leonard as well. The three of them, Uncle Morris, Uncle Jimmy, and Uncle Leonard. The three of them are very strong spiritual men. They know PISL language, everything, Blackfoot, everything. I really rely on them a lot. I ask them a lot of questions, and they always have answers for me, and they're always happy to help me. Oh, sorry about clarifying that sign. Yeah.
Someone else is saying, off topic, what is your favorite place in Canada? I've always wanted to go.
Well, growing up in Alberta, my whole life, I was there, but I would say my favorite place um, is, I love Arizona. It's warm. I don't have aches and pains in my body. It's comfortable. I love that. I've been there 2 times and I just love Arizona. Um, yeah, I want to go again for sure.
And they've asked a follow-up question, what is your favorite deaf artist? Who is your favorite deaf artist?
Deaf artist, that's a good question. There's a boy whose name is Travis. He is deaf. He has autism as well. And he is a very good artist. He does his best. He's one that comes to mind. Um, but there's a lot of deaf artists out there, but I have not met many of them.
So the next comment is more and more schools and universities seem to be offering ASL classes to give students an opportunity to learn. Do you know of any places that currently offer TISL classes?
Not yet. Most are ASL, and it has been that way for quite some time. But growing up, I had no PISL. When I went home to my family, we started learning PISL, and I started to remember my uncle told me, "You used to talk, talk, talk. You never stopped. You were always gesturing and saying something, and then you were gone. The white man came and took you away, and then you came back, and it was like you never moved your hands. You were quiet. You didn't say anything. I just was immobile. I didn't communicate at all, and that was trauma. The trauma took that from me. The PISL language. And that was the white man that took that away from me. But now, my uncle, I'm very, he's happy that I'm happy that he remembers PISL because now I continue to use PISL. I'm relearning it and going to continue it.
So are there any PISL classes anywhere in any colleges?
From what I've heard in Saskatchewan, um, it's just right next door. Basically, there is they have some deaf people there as well. Here in Alberta, most are in they have some in the school. I haven't seen very many, but most of the languages are basically like books, pictures in a book of PISL, for children. With the gesturing, they can kind of practice on their own. Yeah, so that's.
Oh, your sister has mentioned Waterton Lakes.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's my favorite place. It's right near us. It's about 45 minutes. I used to go there all the time. When growing up, we'd go there all the time to the park with friends. We'd camp. Oh, it's such a beautiful place. Oh, you would love it.
And Latrina has stated, I can't wait to see the children's book. I'm a certified elementary teacher here.
I'm looking forward to it. Yes, very, very much. I'm very excited to make this book.
Are there any more questions? Is any from the audience? Anything else? Go ahead and send them in chat if you'd like.
If there's any other questions.
Give you a minute or two if you'd like. Anything else? We have a thank you so much for your time. This has been very educational.
Oh, something on my bucket list.
What's something on your bucket list? Yes.